Okay, hold on a second. Yo, what's up everybody? I am Legend, your favorite traveling musician right here on YouTube, and today I am doing another requested instrumental breakdown of one of Eminem's new songs. This is, what song is this? The song is called Lucky You featuring Joyner Lucas. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you will be notified, ding dong, every single time I upload a brand new video. So Lucky You. I went ahead and the BPM is at 153. So I went ahead and I started this track as I do with every single track that I start. I basically find out what is the most prominent instrument or most constant thing about the whole track. Like what drives the song throughout. And for this song, it is the bells. That the stuff that you hear going on throughout the entire song is the bells. So I basically just went and found a couple of bells actually because they didn't really match the sound that I was looking for. So I had to layer these sounds on top of each other. So I found this bell computer, which is in contact. These are all contact instruments. So I found a xylophone because it has that percussion type hit to it, like that clickiness to it, and then I layered that with this bell computer, which has more of a ding to it because I couldn't really find an instrument that matched both. And so basically I played that part out, which is the foundation of the song. So you start off with the bell. And you layer both of those together, it gets like this. One time, man, go. Hey, 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 hey. So once you get that going, there's like a lower note to the bells. It's like a lower, not a gong, but it's another bell. It's just boom, more ambient sounding. So that's where I found this timbula, whatever that is called. You layer that on top of what's already playing, and you get this. Once that repeats the first time, then there's another bell. So there's a more even legato type bell that kind of, you know, goes through the motions and it's doing the movement. So it's so the next part, there are some horns that come in, and basically they're kind of mimicking what that last bell was doing. And so I basically found a trombone ensemble also in contact, and I played basically the exact same thing. So it sounds like this. Another thing that hits right here is this is when the bass kind of, not the bass drum drops, but when the bass, like the actual instrument hits, and it gives you that deeper tone of the song. So it starts out with this like high pitch, you know, these bells and all that stuff, but then it goes boom, like it just really that's gonna be dope live. I could tell you that much. And I basically found a funk bass in FM8. I added a filter to it, but I'm not gonna play that right now because it's gonna slow down the screen recording. So it's just and you layer all that together and it sounds something like this. Boom. So there's the intro. It repeats itself, and then here is when it gets really super dope because the drums drop, and this is what makes the song super poppin' to me. So we come to the drums, and I found basically like a bunch of 808, 606 drums, but it's got a kick, a clap, a snare, an open hi-hat, and a closed hi-hat. So I started out with the kick. Add the clap, and then the 808 snare. So this is coming together pretty nice, but then the hi-hats are what puts it over to me. So you have this open hi-hat, which is the same throughout. So it's just a so I look so funny. But then you have this closed hi-hat, which kind of puts the drive into the drums, like the once I recorded that in, I basically put everything together and I came up with this. Seems pretty simple, right? You know, it sounds kind of empty, sounds kind of lacking or whatever, but once you put everything in here, so I'm just going to add the bells first, and it's going to add a little bit of character to it. And then the bass is going to come in next, but I also added a fallen sine bass to give it more of a punchy. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So then basically that's the verses. It keeps repeating and then it comes in. And then once it gets into this little change up, there's a piano that comes in, a really rugged, like upright piano. It's kind of muted. It's kind of soft. And this is where Eminem starts rapping. So this is where the drums don't really change up too much. I mean, there's not as much hi-hats. And then also some strings come in. So it kind of gives this whole change up, like everything becomes more soft, more thought-provoking, I guess you could say. It changes your whole perspective of the track. So it's not as it's not as like trappy or as hip-hop-ish or as hard. That's the word. It's not as hard as it was previously. Like now it's kind of changing up and becoming a more softer, think about what I'm saying right here type stuff. Which makes sense because Eminem's talking now. And this part also, it's interesting that it does this change up because this is when he gets really reflective on the fact that his previous album didn't do as well, and he's kind of confronting his relevance and all that stuff. So that's dope as far as musicianship goes. To change up the track and then also bring in the lyrical content that matches what the track is doing, I think that is really dope. So yeah, so the strings come in. So basically it's just holding that note. Boom. Very simple. And then the piano. Now this is where it gets interesting. So I used, and by the way, those strings are string ensemble and contact, also very good. But then this piano right here, I found an upright piano, added some reverb. I changed up the sound a little bit so it's a little bit more soft and not as punchy as a normal piano would be when you select it. Upright piano, also in contact. I'll show you. Then down to this other part, that bass, and then you layer that with the strings, turn it down a little bit. And then you bring in the drums. So I'm actually going to play it from the end of this joiner verse and then show you how the change up comes. Beat cuts out and then right here. So sick. And then repeats again, but the bass comes in and really hits hard. So this part, what is it mimicking anything else? No. So the piano, I mean, it doesn't really mimic what just happened, but it's just basically the same kind of vibe, except minus the strings. The piano is just gets really simplified right here. And then you just add the bass and the drums. I love that drop, man. So yeah, that is Lucky You, created from scratch in about 3 hours. The bells, the horns, the bass, the drum, the strings, the piano, the first verse, the second verse, the chorus, and all that stuff. This is how I created this song in about 3 hours. If you have any questions about anything that I did in this video or any previous videos, or questions about production, just leave a comment below. And yeah, so that's it for Lucky You, probably my favorite song off of this album. If you guys want to download this instrumental, there will be a link down below in the description. You will have to purchase it because this is one of my jobs and I'm self-employed. So I would really appreciate it if you want to download it, then, you know, feel free to purchase it and you'll get the full free version without me talking and all that stuff. But as always, stay legendary, be legendary, guys. I will see you in the next video tomorrow, whatever I decide to do. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas or things you want to see. And yeah, I really appreciate it. As always, repeat myself, goodbye.